Bam. Hey, everybody. I like to try and read what's on ER's whiteboards. I know, because usually he has secrets back there, doesn't he?
I know. I had to cover them up. That's why I told you. That's why it's grayed out today. There are some big secrets up here. I can't show.
Can't reveal them. Welcome to Tech Tuesday. It is Tuesdays, February, 15th. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody yesterday. We are here to talk about tap cards and QR codes, and we have an advancement in our tap card technology that you guys announced yesterday, and we're going to talk about how to today. So I have mine right here. I have one of mine here, our Elify tap cards that you can use when you're out and about. My actual tap card is in a lanyard and it hangs in my car so that I'm never without it. Anywhere I am, it's with me. But it allows you to go up to somebody, tap to their phone. This one's not there it is. It's not programmed, but tap to their phone like it. There's ER's, and it allows you to share whatever you have programmed to your tap card. So it can be your shuffle card, it can be your website, any link, whatever you put on there. And what's fantastic about the shuffle tap card is it's reprogrammable. So if you need it on your, let's see, make that up, your realtor card in the morning for networking, if you need it on a nonprofit card for evening because you're going to an event, if you have different things that you represent, you can reprogram your tap card as often as you need to. And now, dun, 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 the QR code on the back can also lead to that same location. We're going to show you guys how to do it. It's like maybe 1.00000 second longer to do that than it was before. So it's as easy as one more question. It says, do you want to write your tap card? Yes. Do you want the QR code to match? Yes. Then you're in business. That's it. So I am going to make ER a co-conspirator here.
While you're doing that, Kathy, I think this is something that everybody needs to think about for just a second, right? We talked about on so many of these trainings, Kathy, you've talked about creating that experience when you go into your event. And these tap cards that we have, in my opinion, this has to be the fastest, most frictionless way to share information to somebody when you're in person, right? We talk about like in real life. I use that IRL all the time. In real life, if I'm going out into an in real life event, we do so much stuff online nowadays, and there's plenty of ways to share online. But if I'm in real life, I don't even have to have my phone or pull it out of my pocket. I just pull this out and I can share information with people. And I think that's so powerful. And then Kathy, to your point, you talked about having a plan A and having a plan B going into the interaction. You don't want to be that person who's sort of bumbling around like, I've got something cool I want to share with you, but part of the bumbling to share it makes you look like you don't know what you're doing. No, you've already tapped it to your own phone so many times to practice that you know how it works. And when you go up, if it doesn't tap, maybe they've got their NFC turned off. There are people who turn off that NFC reader, or maybe they've got like the ultimate case on their phone that's like 8 inches thick in case it gets dropped off a building and doesn't break. The NFC can read only so much, right? So if you're tapping to somebody's device and the little link doesn't pop up, which obviously pops up on mine, your alternative now is to just flip the card around and say, scan this. As well, Kathy mentioned she holds her card in a lanyard. If you've got another thing in front of it or behind it or whatnot, just make sure sometimes if you have this just hanging from your neck, Ruben's got his up here, people are going to walk up, they see these things now. And they're like, oh, what's that? I got to scan. They're like walking around with their cameras already out, ready to scan. So you want to be thinking about that experience that you're creating with the people that you're meeting. You want to think about what's my plan A to tap information to their card? What's my plan B to flip the card over and show them the QR code? You might even have a plan C or plan D, but you're going in prepared to make that experience happen and to create some magic for the people you're sharing your information with. So Kathy, I just wanted to throw that out there because I don't think people understand, and we were talking about this before we recorded, understand how powerful new technology can be in promoting your business, right?
I do. I think some people think it's magic. Okay, I know, Guy, you don't have a long time to be with us. Do you have anything you want to add before we show our show our fun training?
I do. The advancement of the advancement to make it so I have it set to tap to one card and QR to a different one.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can get into that if we've got a little bit extra time at the end.
I'll let ER. I know what ER. He's following me.
I know exactly what Guy's doing, and there's a way to do that. Again, we want to provide as much flexibility for you in how you use these tools. And one of our goals here at Elify, right? We talk about elevating our business, simplifying our life. Kathy, you came up with the new stuff for Shuffle, right? We want to what? Elevate our marketing,
elevate our networking,
simplify our marketing, right? And that's really what it's all about. We want to make all of this accessible to you. So this is why we do these trainings. We want you to follow along. We're going to repost this training afterwards. So if you have to come back to it, you can pause, rewind, go through each of the steps. And once you learn how to do this, and learning is literally practicing 3 or 4 times. We're going to show you how simple it is. Kathy, you and I already talked about, we'll do it a few times to show you just how simple it is. Then the call's on you. Get one of these and start playing around. And if you're out and about, start sharing information. You're going to see people's eyes light up. If you haven't done this before, they're like, what? How did you just make this appear on my phone? What are you doing? And how do I do it type of thing? Yep. See it. Okay. So some of you already have your cards and you're going to be following along. I'm going to be sharing my phone screen right here. Pardon the background blurriness. If I hold this out, it starts to get blurry. So I'm going to be sharing my phone screen and we're going to be going through all of this. Kathy's already made me her co-conspirator in this. Okay. Let's share this and let's get after it. Go through. Now, because it's in your room, it's not letting me.
Oh, it says you started screen sharing. It won't let you.
Hold on. Maybe I started it saying I was going to use a cord and now it's. Give me a second here. There it is. I clicked the wrong button. Gotta love it. How is this for sharing? Okay, we've got my phone right here. We're live on my phone, so anything I do on here, you're going to see it direct on your screen. And the first thing we want to be doing is we want to have 2 things with us. We want to have our phone and we want to have our tap card, okay? Next thing we're going to do is we're going to launch our Shuffle application. You can see that on the bottom row of my phone right here, and I'm going to open this up. In fact, let me refresh this. So we're going to open this up. And we've got our demo account set up here, and we're going to go through and we're going to pick which card we want to put on our tap card. So I mouse around and let's say I'm going to go into that networking event and I am going to promote my construction company. Okay. I'm going to tap on the card I want to do it. You'll see a gear in the upper left-hand corner or upper right-hand corner here. And I'm going to click on that gear. And you can see the 3rd option down is write to tap card. Okay, I'm going to hold that up. The reader comes. I've got my card with me and I'm just placing it on my mobile device. That's it, guys. Oh, I hold it up extra and it read it as well. And then you can see this other thing, success. The URL has been written to your tap card. Would you like to write this same URL to the QR code? I'm going to hit yes. It's going to pull up my camera and I'm going to physically scan this. Success. That's the second step. That's everything. Now they're both together and we're done. Here is why we want you to scan this, guys. This is so nobody else can program your card. It's your card. So it scans it to validate that it's yours and allow you to do that. Now, if we get out of here and we come back and we hold our NFC card to the top and the tag comes up and we open it up, it opens straight up to our construction card. Okay, likewise, if I get out of here and I go over into my camera and I open this up and I scan the QR code, it goes to our construction card. Okay, you can see I'm getting some alerts here because I had it tied to something else. That's it, guys. Write it by a tap, scan it to forward the QR code, and you're ready to go. Now, let's say I have left my networking meeting and I'm going down to this lunch event, but I'm not going to be focused on my construction business. Maybe I'm focused on something else I promote, right? My real estate business. Or Kathy, you've talked about some of the nonprofit work you do. Maybe I want to go to lunch for that and I'm going to exchange this out. Again, tap on the card, click on the gear, hit right to tap card, hold up your tap card. It is now written. Hit yes if you want to update the QR code. Scan the QR code. Done. Now we've just rewritten this to go to a different place. How do we validate that? We just pull out our card. This is part of the testing, right? Pull out the card, put it on there, click it. Now we're going to our real estate card. So again, you can change to what you want it to do. So Kathy, should we talk about some of this advanced stuff?
Yeah, because I don't even know how to change the back of the QR code. That was a bomb that he just dropped. So what's the key there?
Okay, so if everybody goes yes when they update the QR code, the question is, what happens when you click no? Well, if you click no, you'll be given an option. You can either have it linked back to the directions or have it stayed to whatever it was tied to before you went to write it. So if you want the QR code set to something, the order of operation is write the tap card and the QR code to where you want the QR code to go. Then select the card you want on the NFC and write that and hit no.
You guys are so crafty. Well, that's really cool because here immediately where my mind went was set your QR code to here's how to get your own tap card from me to order, to set up an account and get your tap card from Shuffle and write my tap card to my business card. That's where my mind went.
Yep. And let's talk about a few different advanced strategies on this, because like we were just talking about, there's a few things. First of all, we were clicking on our card here and we're hitting the gear. Okay. I want everybody to know when you use write to tap card through that flow, it is writing to your card, but it is not writing to a campaign. And if you've joined us on some of these previous trainings and you really like tracking, and I'm a person who's analytical, I really love tracking, I'm going to dismiss this. I might go in and click on my cards and take an extra step to click on campaigns. And I've got a whole series of all these campaigns I might want to use for that tap card. Okay, and there's tap card lead capture, let's say. I'm going to click on that, click on the gear, and there's that same write to tap card. So be thinking about what link you are writing to your tap card. Are you using just a card link? Are you using a campaign link? With that being said, we've talked about this is an open framework we've made available to everybody. Let's say you just want to send somebody to a website, right? Not even to one of your Shuffle cards. Maybe there's a website that you like. It's not yours, but you want to go out and promote it. And you're at an event and you want to leverage one of your tap cards. We're going to dismiss this. We're going to get out of our card view here. There we go. Remember, under the more option here is NFC tool right at the top. Here, you can enter in any URL you want it to go to. Okay? So let's just go to https://Google.
I mean, it could be something that you share because you're an affiliate of theirs. I mean, maybe it's something where, like, I don't know, I'm making this up. The new, what's the internet, where if you share it with somebody and they sign up, you each get it for $5 a month or whatever. Whatever it is, it may just be something that you're going around because you're sharing it with so many people that you're like, hey, it's easier if I just tap this to you.
Yep, just going through an example. We are unaffiliated with Google, everybody here, but we're going to write Google to our tap card. So I will hit write, same process, hold it up, it writes, then it gives me that same option. Do I want the QR code to also go there? In that case, I might say no. Would you like to reset it to go back to those directions? I could hit yes or no. If I hit no, which is what I'm going to do, my QR code is going to that business card and my tap card is now going to Google.
Wow, that's awesome.
Okay, so guys, that's the training in a
essentially your tap
nutshell,
card,
something we can cover in a short amount of time. It is literally as simple as that.
but your tap card now goes to 2 different places.
Yep.
I
So you
mean,
choose. I mean, do
just
you want
doubled
the
it.
tap to go to one place, the QR to go to both? Do you want both to go to there? Do you want the QR to go to your directions, which is tied to any, get tap for yourself, etc.? The flexibility is there, and that's really what excites us. Is we want to make this as flexible a technology as possible, but we also want to make it accessible. I truly believe everybody who's watching this has the capability to set this up. Right? It is not beyond you. Like I said,
what's funny too is like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when we were first, promoting Shuffle, everybody was like, "Oh, QR codes, those, they just never really took, never really." Or like, I guess now it's even further back. Wow, it's because we're already 2 years, post 2020, and now 2020 has just brought QR codes such to the forefront for us, and we all know, right? If you're in this room, you know that in probably 2 years from now, this tap technology could be the thing that everyone's going like, "Oh, yeah, I've heard of that now." But right now, when you're out tapping that to people, they're like, "Oh, what is this?" It's the same thing they thought with QR codes back in the day, right? So we're just one step ahead. So to me, it's like, go grab your share of the market, right? We have so many people that have never seen this. I mean, if you're out networking and using this, people are exactly what ER said. They're like, wait a minute, what is that? Because when you show it to them, if this is the side that's hanging on my lanyard, they're like, "Oh, hey, I need to get your QR code." I'm like, wait, even better, just give me your phone. And that way you have caught their attention, but then you show them something even faster. They didn't even have to open their camera.
Mhm.
But if they don't, like ER said, you're not flustered if their phone doesn't have the NFC on. You're just like, "Oh, no worries. Here you go. You know what to do with this." You don't even have to explain it anymore. Where before we were like, "Open your phone." Da, 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 da. There's not even
Isn't that crazy how fast technology comes, and how if you go through, and again, I'm a business entrepreneur guide, the business life cycle, you have this phase of early adoption. Welcome to the club, everybody. You guys are early adopters and you're on the bleeding edge of technology. Give yourself a pat on the back. But you've got early adoption, you've got that growth rate, right? And then you've got maturity, maturation. And this is what's so interesting. QR codes. If you would have asked 2015, how many of you were scanning QR codes? Boom, 2020 comes along, social distancing, and you want to go anywhere, you can't even have a menu, scan this. It became this thing that thrust it into adoption. Now everybody recognizes these things. Kathy, so much so, we were talking about it at the start of this. The #1 ad in the Super Bowl was a bouncing QR code. If you're going to spend $7 million, there was nothing else.
Nothing, no words, no sound, like no word. If you didn't catch that QR code, you had no idea what it went to. Yep. And it broke their website.
Yep. I mean, it got so much traction, it broke their website. When you think about that, right? This is a call to action. You had 1 of 2 choices when watching that ad. You pulled out your phone and you scanned it, or you watched the commercial going, "Well, I wonder what that is all about." You know what I mean? And the people who scanned it, there were so many, it broke the company's website. That's how powerful this marketing technology can be. And here's the kicker, Kathy. Here's the kicker. That's old technology, but it's now at its growth and maturation state. This is the new tech.
Yep.
And I actually shared an article with Guy this morning, and it was an update that Apple was doing to its operating system for iPhone. And it's enabling, and they say it's going to tap into this multi-trillion-dollar industry. It's going to enable NFC connecting or payments for all small business on the device, because the NFC readers are on the device. So we're already leading the efficient frontier here. It's not just about payment, it's about sharing any type of information and making that accessible to everybody who has something worth sharing.
And so to me, when it doesn't work on someone's phone, if you are able to walk somebody through even the very minimum of what is NFC, near field communication, why do you need it? Why are you're seeing it when you are going out and shopping, you're just not using it, and you're not educating yourself, right?
Yep.
Like Gary Vee says in every video, like spend an hour, go look up NFC, understand at least a little bit about what it does, because then when you explain a 30-second explanation about how tap cards work to somebody, you now are the techie person, right?
You're the guide, right?
That's what people
You're the
then
guide.
see.
They're going to turn to Anna and they're going to be, Anna, what did you just do to my device? And how did you learn how to do this? And can you help me do it for my business, my brand, my product, my service? Because you've just wowed them. And that's really what technology is all about. It's about creating this magical experience. Do you remember? I don't know. I'm a big
gray-haired
yeah.
tech person. The gray-haired tech person.
Hero,
People-
it's a
yeah.
thing.
They're
I'm
like-
all right with it.
What do you mean? New? Yes, they get excited.
Wonderful. Look, any questions out there on this technology? I was mentioning earlier, Kathy, we've got a few tricks up our sleeve that we've got coming. Guy let one of those out of the bag today, which is linking your QR code to something different than your NFC. All capable on here. We talked about you can put any URL on and it's just one click to write those things. All of your cards, all of your campaigns. We'll save a few more for the future here, but it's going to be pretty powerful stuff. So welcome to the club, everybody. It's going to be fun to use this.
Agreed. Anybody have anything specific to this, like writing your tap card, writing your QR code? Yeah, Bethany.
Is there any benefit of having more than one?
So I actually had a call over the weekend with an entrepreneur, a 7-figure leader in their organization, asked the exact same question. I said, it depends. Okay, it depends. Think about your situation. I've got a few. Obviously, I'm a big proponent of this. This one right here has a little dot on it. I have to remember that this is my demo card, right? Because it's programmed straight to the account, Doug's demo account that we're using. But you may have certain situations where you just don't want to go through the extra 2 seconds to rewrite a card. Instead, you say, this one in my wallet. And if I had my wallet up here, I've got 3 in my wallet. And I remember which one is pre-written to which serial number. This is why we have a serial number on the card, so you can differentiate them. Some of the other things we're working on, I'll let one of those out of the bag, is maybe it's brandability. You know, I might want a card for some of the different brands that I'm working with. You know what I mean? Really, really powerful. In that case, if I'm going out promoting X, Y, and Z, I might want it to say X, Y, and Z. So I might want something a little bit different. So there are going to be some opportunities coming in the near future that might support some of that stuff. And so from that standpoint, it depends. Yes, if you want to do different sites and you don't want to go through the reprogramming process, but the reality is, no, if you just have one, you can write this thing an unlimited number of times. I could sit here for the rest of this meeting changing the card that this taps to and that this scans to, and it's not going to cost me any more than what I'm already paying for the solution. So the other thing, and this is something powerful, I know we have a lot of users, especially affiliates of ours, who are doing this. They're bulk buying a few of these. Why? Because they want to use this as the sample. Hey, this is what I use. It's by Elify. I'm using it for my card, but let me do this. I'm just going to write your card to it and I'm going to lend this to you. You go out and use it. Give it back to me in a week. And if you like it, I'll assign it over to you or I'll show you how to order your own. So there's very powerful. That might be a reason to have multiple. But if I was somebody who was an entrepreneur running a small business, maybe my first business or startup, and I was price sensitive, $20 one, and you can pretty much do it all day long. And I think that's something that we really focus on. We don't want somebody to say, I have to have 100 of these. One is the minimum.
Well, it will tell you, I will say, because I have a card here that's not assigned to me yet. If it's not assigned to you, it won't let you program it. So
Yep.
I thought that was a great security feature, because I was playing with it earlier before the call, and I was like, oh, it literally says like you have to confirm that this is your card. So.
Well, and think about the use case for some of that as well, Kathy. I know we've talked to people who do a lot of print QR codes, and then they're putting them on tabletop things and stuff like that. you could have one of these in one of those plastic cases at an event, and they could scan it or tap it, and it should read through that thin plastic there. Maybe you're running a restaurant and you want to put one of these at every table, and it has the menu on it, but it also has a tap to get the menu. So again, you may need multiple in those scenarios, but you just need to think about your scenario. How will I be using this, and how many will I need?
So Ruben, I know it goes through the lanyard, because I have one like that. Has anybody tested it? Because I have one right here. Has anybody tested it through a frame? Hold on, I can grab one.
And some troubleshooting tips, as Kathy is looking at that I think we should all be aware of, is think about, again, going in, knowing and understanding your devices.
See, here's my,
Yep.
I use a QR code at my meetings,
Yep.
right? But I could put this in there and I could go straight to it. So let's test it. Let's see.
And so now, look, Kathy's scanning through a case and through
There
the
it is.
plastic. So remember, there will be some amount of distance that will be supported, but if she had that giant, case I was talking about, it might not scan that way. Yep, you can see Ruben's got his actually in his case behind his phone, which is another way. You don't want to lose your card or leave it anywhere. You can be tucking it into your case, and that way you just essentially tap your phones together as well.
I think he just has a QR code in the back.
Do you have
Is
just
that
a
your
QR
tap
code,
card?
Ruben, or did you actually tuck your card in there?
You're on mute. Is that your QR code or is that your tap card?
Looks like a card.
Oh,
That's my card with a little sticker on there to redirect it to another card.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
Everybody's so crafty.
Really quick, a few troubleshooting things that I think everybody should be aware of when it comes to NFC. Okay, the antenna on these is in the center of the card. So be aware, you don't want to punch through the center of the card. You could punch through the corner. You could punch through here if you're going to be hanging this on a lanyard. Okay, don't reach out to us if you punch through the center and then it no longer works. That's why it no longer
Well,
works.
but the thing is there's
Like a wire. It's an
wires.
antenna. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an embedded NFC antenna.
so it's
in there.
not just in one space, it's all the way around that edge. So be
Yep.
really careful if you're going to punch through these. Put
I
them
would
in a
rather
lanyard.
put it in a piece of plastic, guys, if you're
Yeah.
going to be putting it in a lanyard than hole punching through stuff and potentially breaking your technology. Number two, be aware on how devices read this. We talked about cases and sort of the distance between. I'm on an iOS device, iPhone, okay? An iPhone has its NFC reader at the top, right around here, okay? So if you are meeting somebody with an iPhone, you want to be touching towards the top of their device. If they're using an Android, again, another troubleshooting, the Android readers right in the back. So if I'm meeting people, it's pretty weird, but some I'm up at the top and some I'm towards the back. That's another thing that if maybe their device doesn't read your card immediately, take a second glance at the device. Maybe you're trying to scan it in the wrong location. Third thing, and final thing, I'll leave you with this. We talked about having a plan A, a plan B, and I'm typically the person, and Kathy, I know you are too. If it doesn't work immediately, I might flip this over and just say scan it. But if I want to introduce somebody to that new cutting edge technology, I might say, hey, maybe your NFC is turned off on both iPhone and on both Android devices. You can just ask them to go to their settings. There's a search in settings for both, and you can type in NFC. That's the common, title for near field communication, the acronym, and then it will pull up their setting for that. And typically it's a toggle switch, like most of our settings on our devices are, where I'm like, oh, it looks like your NFC's off, and I'll slide it on, and then I'll create the magic. But only if I'm like in that conversation and we're talking about something cool and it's worth taking those extra steps. Again, you don't want to be like, let me see your phone, let me go through your settings or anything like that. You're better off just doing what you intended to and sharing the information.
Well, then I'll add number 4, which is if you are going to do your method and loan it to somebody and then have them purchase a card from you, make sure that you change the number out. Make sure you send support a message, or they send
Yes.
support a message. This card number should now be assigned to this person,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Because that is
There-
important. We want to know who they're
there is-
assigned to.
There's
Nope.
one thing hopefully I'm not a robot. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Got
nope,
you,
you're
guys. Go
good.
ahead.
Okay. So from that security measure of if you're trying to scan it and it's not assigned to you, I just want to point out one thing. You hear the buzzword about community. You hear the buzzwords about decentralization and authentication. I'll just leave that at what Elify's community is all about, and it will be.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Really, really powerful stuff coming down the pike, guys. So again, play with this stuff.
Guys
We
being
just pushed
so,
this on Monday. Get out there and start using it for yourself. Get out there and start sharing it with other people. We want to take these types of technologies to everybody around the world. We want to make this accessible to everybody. We want to create a community that supports all of our users in leveraging this technology to their benefit. So hopefully you've learned something today on this new tech and how to get it to both match up. All you got to do is get out and play around.
Yeah, guys sharing all kinds of stuff today. Color code different businesses use a pinstripe tape on the ID cards. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, color coding. I think we could talk to the guys about some different colors. I love different colors of things. Brittany, do you want to share a little bit about when you went to your event the other day? I know you had your tap card out and people thought it was kind of cool.
Yes, do you want me to share? So I went to two. One, everybody was really amazed and like, oh my gosh, I have to have this. This is awesome. This is awesome. They had never seen it before. So it was really cool to hear the reactions, see the reactions. And then I went to another meeting a couple days later and I got, you want me to talk about the 3 different responses?
Yeah, because I think that's a good thing. We need to talk about, again, like you and I were talking about earlier, like you have to be prepared. And if you're not prepared, right, think about it in advance. How would you react to these responses?
Yeah. So with the reaction that I had previously that week, I had that in my mind. So I got out my tap card and I got 3 very different responses. One guy was like, yes, this is awesome. Here, tap it to my phone. The other guy was like, hey, can I just scan a QR code? So I had to get out my phone, pull up my card, and then get my QR code for that. And then the other guy was like, I'm old school. I want a paper business card. So I literally had to have for the rest of the meeting, all 3 with me. So it was very interesting to hear different responses. And if you guys have a way to finesse that wording back to the people, I'd really love to hear from you guys and how to further educate people about it. And maybe change their mindset on if they, right? QR codes were like, hey, what's QR code? Now everybody's all about the QR codes. So now this is a tap card. So this is the next thing. So how can I help communicate that and get people to kind of move to that from you guys, you know, as the creators? So
let's take an opportunity to go through each of those 3 things. And I will tell you what I would say. Not that you need to parrot what I say, but just keep it in the back of your mind. First of all, the tap thing, I love it when you create that experience. There's an old announcement that Steve Jobs did during one of the annual events for Apple when they launched the first iPod. And he goes, and it was called the One More Thing. You know, he goes through the whole demo and then he pulls out his phone, or not his phone, his little iPod, and he goes, hey guys, just one more thing. This is 1,000 songs in your pocket, right? And before that, everybody was burning 12 songs to a CD and doing everything else. It was like, everybody's mind is blown. That's the first reaction you got, right? Where you're the person creating that experience for everybody you're tapping to who's never heard of this technology before. That's the best case scenario. And I want everybody to be leaning into that scenario because that puts, as Kathy was just talking about, you as the technical authority because you're the one with the magic in your hand, okay? So lean into that. Yeah, no worries. This is super cool. Yeah, I've had this for a while and it's really powerful. And you can speak to some of the values of how you use this, what it's done for you, potentially what it could do for them. Number 2, we've literally just solved today. Right? So I'm so thankful that you experienced that because now we want to eliminate that experience by allowing you to update the card QR code for matching what's on the card itself. So now my hope is you will never experience that again. My goal, eliminate that as somebody coming back to you, oh, let me scan it, because to the point, right? We want to be prepared. There's nothing worse than the scenario of going, oh, shoot, this doesn't link to it. Let me go to my phone. Let me go through 5 clicks. Let me pull up the campaign and then let me show you that QR code, right? To get around that, sometimes save some QR codes to your home screen or to your photos, and you can quickly pull them up if you need to. But ideally, you're forwarding your QR code, you're writing your QR code to your NFC at the same time so they match. Okay, that way, if they do come up and scan it, yeah, go ahead. If you like that, but I love what Kathy said. As they're coming up with their camera sort of out, like, I can see from a mile away that you have a QR code. Kathy's like, oh, stop, watch this, I'll do you one better. And she taps it instead. Now you've just changed their perspective. It's a paradigm shift, right? They're coming in expecting, I'm already up to date with technology. I know these QR codes since 2020. You know what I mean? And they're ready to scan. And you're like, whoa, I'm going to show you something faster. Turn off your camera. Boop. You know what I mean? So that's the type of experience that you want to create for the people who you're interacting with all around your brand. The last case scenario. And look, we're always going to have people, and for lack of a better descriptor, because I do not think this is age related in any way, who are dinosaurs. And what do I mean by that? They are holding on to the vestiges of old tech. Okay. I hold up that one card and I got to grab it right here. And actually, I got another card, Kathy. I'm going to show it to you. But this card, right? This is old tech. The history of these things, like the 16th century, that's how long these things have been around, right? The wild, wild west, where the couriers would take a stack to the town before the guys rode in on their horses. The dentist is coming, here, you can set your appointment, all of that. This is what the history of these pieces of paper were if you dig into it. But the reality is 90% of these are going to get thrown in the trash literally the day they're received. So even if they're asking for it, I will talk about the pros to the other thing to them. Instead of saying, well, let me pull out a piece of paper, I'll say, let me give you something that's interactive, that you can save to your device, that is measurable, all of those types of things that allows me to be one click away. If you want to visit my site, call me, text me. Even the extra step of having to go through the thumb damage of reading this card and typing in the URL to visit it, to me, it just doesn't make sense. The other thing is the social good. Man, how we eliminated the straw a few years ago because of all the turtles? Think about the amount of trees, the Olympic swimming pool sizes of ink, all of that type of stuff that's being done with print. So that's typically my response back to people is, even if they're giving me their card, I'll take a picture and I'll give their card back to them. And I'll say, I don't want to waste your cards. You know what I mean? And, typically they're thrown away anyways. Like I'll sort of quip with that just to start that conversation. Kathy, this is our cards before we went digital, and I still had, and this is from a long time ago. This is my old business card before we went digital. The QR doesn't even work anymore, but that's how early of an adopter I was in the QR code technology. And while I was handing these things out, people were like, what's that? You know what I mean? It wasn't even big. And I have to think that was probably 10 years ago. So
That's funny.
That's the last time I used a physical business card, 10 years ago.
Well, I like what Anna said.
Data.
She just said, I don't use one anymore. I mean, I think if people start hearing that more often, it's not just for the ease of my ease, it's to make it easier for you too. You're going to be able to find me faster. I mean, you guys have all seen me try and type and talk and text at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm trying to take in your information, you're trying to take in my information, and we're trying to get to know each other and have a conversation, it's just one more step. One thing I do want to try, and I haven't tried it either, I know, Brittany, we put it on your card, is maybe having it tapped to a campaign and having the only thing on the campaign be scan their card. That would be a very interesting thing. So they could either, I want your information before you get mine,
Yep.
But all I want you to do is take a picture of your business card and shoot
Yep.
it to me.
The thing you'd have to do with that, Kathy, and I'm just thinking about it, because if you're meeting somebody new, we do need one label information. So you'll see when you create
Name.
campaigns, it requires a name, first
Yep.
name or name. Outside of that, if you go into your form builder on your campaign forms for lead capture, at the very bottom, it's scan business card. That's how we would do exactly what Kathy you're talking about, where it's like,
Yep.
yeah, here, I'll give you my information. You tap it and it's like, scan your card and send it back to me. And then your card is sitting behind it. And that would be a great way to have an exchange of information. They can even take out their card and scan it while they're doing that.
I just wonder if that would make them feel like they're giving you a card and you're giving them a card.
Yeah.
It would be an interesting test. Hey, Ruben, what's up?
I have a printer in our networking group. And she said, I sell paper, you know. And so I saw her and I said, can we have a word? And,
Yeah.
and I talked to her and I said, can you show me some of your promotional information? And she did. And she had the QR code. Well,
Yeah.
immediately what I did, I placed an order with her for my wife's art card. And I had her printed a big QR code behind it. And then when I went to the next day to pick it up, I handed all those cards out to the networkers saying, hey, if you go see her, she can do a nice little QR code for you. But in other
Yeah.
words, I partnered with her because that's her business. You know what I mean?
Well,
And
Absolutely.
if I partner now we are helping each other.
exactly. There's an opportunity, because if we think about it, the last decade has not been kind to print companies. You know what I mean? And I don't know what the future holds for them, to be honest, right? I mean, look, Facebook's all in on the metaverse. That's virtual reality. There's not going to be any print in virtual reality if we're all sucked into Ready Player One or something, you know? So when we're thinking about this is an opportunity to go in and partner with those people, Ruben, just like you said, and offer them something that can supplement their primary business. Because inevitably, look, imagine what if 5 years ago you were the plastic straw maker. You know what I mean? It's not as hot as it was once, you know what I mean? So times they are a changing, and you either get on the bus or you watch the bus pass you by.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Anybody else? Comments, questions? Brittany will have to catch you up on how to do the backside. It's pretty cool. You can actually have your card and your QR code go to 2 different places if you want to. Whew, these guys are, I know, they shocked me with that too. I know.
Oh, I
Anybody
can't
have
wait to
anything?
tell you the next thing, guys. I'm thinking about it in the back of my mind, and it's tough. Like, I got some stuff on the board and I can't even show it, you know?
So crafty. Jillian, did you have something? I saw you come off mute.
Yes, I have a question. Thanks.
Yeah.
I wanted to find out, because I noticed the Elify is on the front. Is it possible to get a logo on the front as opposed to Elify?
Not yet.
Not
The
yet.
keyword yet. We're working on that, guys. Again, a lot of what we're working on, a lot of development happens behind the scenes, a lot of logic, a lot of all of that type of stuff. Obviously, customization and personalization is very important to all of us, and we want to make it accessible to everybody. Realize that we work in a lot of volume, and it's challenging when we want to get a single card that's branded, but we're working on solutions for that. We have started to work with several brands who need bulk orders of cards that are branded. And if you fall into that category, you can already start to reach out to us or reach out to support at Elify and say tap card branding. But for those on the early ones, there will be minimum order requirements, minimum volume requirements for some of that stuff. Outside of that, truly our end goal is to allow you guys to create your own personalized one that matches your brand. So I don't know when that'll be available, but we're hoping to make it available shortly.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Great
Absolutely.
question. Man, teasing good information out of us now.
Mm-hmm. So Bethany, your phone doesn't take the tap card? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know because I've never seen one, but I just looked it up while you were talking and to how to find if you have it on your phone. And it's not there where they said it should be, even though I do have an iPhone 7, I believe.
Okay, so let me tell you what, the cutoff for technology and the implementation of this is around the iPhone 6, 7 range. And depending on when it was manufactured, what the iOS is on the build number and everything on the updates, it may or may not be available on your iPhone 7. I want to be very transparent on that. However, with that being said, you may have an opportunity there on the iPhone 7. Make sure your phone is updated. That's another thing. I know a lot of us, we maybe have manual updates set, even on our apps, guys. If you don't have auto updates set on your app, and we announced this on Monday, you might need to go back to your app store and re-download the update or get into that settings on your phone and set the auto updates up in the app store settings on iOS or however you do it on your Android devices. So take a look at that and see if you can update on iPhone 7. I'm not 100% sure on the iPhone 7, but the reality is we're now on iPhone 13. So,
But you should still be able to write to it.
it depends. Again,
Oh, it depends. Okay.
you still need an NFC reader writer within your device to read NFC and to write NFC.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So do be aware of that. I don't know if that's sort of your call to action. It's time to get a new phone or whatnot, but I hate be the one saying that because technology updates so quickly. And the fact that iPhone, and I just mentioned that earlier in this conversation, they just announced that they're going to lean heavily into NFC technology for payments, right? We're all walking around with these digital credit cards on our phones. That's the way they see that $1 trillion plus sort of payment market. They're leading into it. So every iPhone from, I think, iPhone 8 moving forward already has it. So please check out the updates on your phone, the settings on your phone, etc. I know on iPhone, I think you just go into your phone settings and there's even maybe a search for there, type in NFC and maybe something will come up. Also, the alternative for everybody watching this, Google, YouTube, like go in there, type in, how do I set up NFC on my phone or turn it on? And there's typically a video specific to your device. The reason I say that is Android has like a bazillion different Androids and they all are sort of a little bit different. So make sure it's turned on your device so you can write your cards, and then be aware that not every device has that on.
Yeah, that's where the QR code comes in.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything besides that? We have what, 6 minutes or so? Anything besides tap cards and NFC? Open question session. Anything else going on? Have questions? Not sure. We're so quiet today. We covered everything.
Okay, got another question.
Yeah.
So I see I can actually get an app, NFC, for iPhone.
Yes, but that reader writer will not work unless you have the NFC in your iPhone. Just like we already have NFC on our Shuffle app. When you go in there, it's already in there from the app. But if your device does not support it, it doesn't matter whether you have an app that leverages NFC or not, unfortunately.
Okay, there's one that says to read and write NFC. Oh.
Yep. I mean, again, feel free to try it, but if you cannot read or write using the one in our app, that one's going to be the exact same. You actually have to have the antenna writer and reader in your device. It's a physical thing inside the phone that, sort of works hand in hand with the apps.
Good to know.
If you do need additional hands-on help with that, though, like reach out to support at Elify. We can set up a time. I'm happy to jump on a call and try and troubleshoot it and figure it out. I would much rather do that than force you to go get another phone, to be honest. If we can get it to work, let's get it to work. If not, I hope I can be your excuse to upgrade your device.
And have fun with it. I always love updating my device. I'm like, woo, new phone, new buttons to push. So, All right, guys. Well, we won't hijack any more of your Tuesday then. We will see everybody next week. If you guys have any questions, just let us know. And of course, we'll see everybody, what's today, Tuesday? So Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, we're going to do a Thursday mastermind roundtable. I'm going to throw this out there for anybody on this call. Go into one of the social groups if you have a topic idea you'd like to see covered. After Thursday, and that's going to be 10 a.m. Mountain Time, so adjust for your time zone. It is on the Week at a Glance card. If you guys don't have that card, you can look it up as well. It's in the card, the templates under template ID WAG, WAAG. That card will come right up, and you can even put in a little blurb if you want to invite people to WAG events, Week at a Glance events. So Thursday is our mastermind roundtable. And then Friday is going to be Friday with the founders, probably my favorite call of the week outside of this one, where we all get together to just talk general stuff. I'm going to throw it out there. If anybody has a shuffle story that they want to share with the rest of the community on Friday with the founders, how did you learn about Shuffle? How are you using Shuffle? What has Shuffle done for you? What do you think Shuffle could do for other people? I'd love to call you out on Friday with the founders, have you come up, highlight you, praise you, and let you share your story. So also looking for somebody like that. If not, I'll just share my story. So either way, we got it covered. But topics and that Thursday and Friday, everybody. But next week, come every Tuesday, guys. If you want to learn how to implement the technology, right? It's one thing to have a plan. It's another thing to have all of the skills to implement that plan. And part of those skills are learning how to use the tools that you have at your disposal, right? We all know or think we know how to use a shovel, but if it just sits there in the corner, you're not going to dig a great foundation.
Yeah, but you just dropped the card. We hadn't even talked about that. So new template, new calendar card, new invite to all the events card, template WAAD, Week at a Glance. We just updated it. It's brand new, brand fresh.
Yeah, I have it up. Kathy, you have it up? You want to show it real quick before we jump off?
If you have it up, go ahead and share it. I don't have it up. I'm in
I've got a bazillion tabs up, everybody. So if you're asking me for that one.
Just that one.
The WAG, I really enjoy using it. I enjoy sharing it. It's so convenient.
Yay!
And I really appreciate it because that's what I was working on for another business that I'm working with.
Yep.
And now I can just clone that and add what I need to add and move forward. So thank you for saving me all that time.
Yeah, think about those pieces. I love it. Week at a Glance. If you have a calendar of things that go on and on, build a card for that. If you have a business and you need a business card, build a card for that. If you're on Instagram and need a card with all of your links on it, build a link hub card for that. Whatever you want to build, you can do it within Shuffle, everybody. So get on these calls to learn how. We will see everybody next week this time. Thank you guys so much.
Bye, everybody.
Kathy.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.